Well, during this time, the heaviness of, everything that's been going on as far as social justice and, things of that nature and what's been kind of prevalent in the news media, for a lot of us, especially, us, minorities, you know, we've been going through this stuff for years. Like it's just now reaching the media to a point where it's a national crisis, which it should have been a national crisis in the 70s and in the 60s. And, this stuff is not new to us. So for me, it was more fuel to continue to dive into my work and create things that in some ways can, further us along and continue to further our growth and continue to further our betterment and not, it wasn't too heavy for me to continue to build what I was trying to build. It was more of a fuel of now, it's more prevalent than ever that, especially as creatives, dive in and continue to make awareness because we've been talking about police brutality in our music since hip hop began. We've been talking about police brutality in our music since music began. I mean, if you go back to, like I said, the 60s and the 70s, there was a lot of, social unrest during then, and it came out in the art. It came out in the movies. It came out in, the music. It came out in the way we dressed. It came out in, from the afros to the, berets, from the Black Panthers. But all of that stuff has always been a part of us. So it's just now that, socially things are catching up as far as it being something that, to, put it bluntly, that white America was almost unaware of, or they kind of turned a blind eye because it wasn't in their face. They knew these things were going on, but it wasn't in their face. And now you have a man getting choked, have a knee on his neck for 8 minutes, dying on national television. You have multiple men getting shot by police, dying live on television. So, for everyone else, it's like, wow, we didn't know it was that serious. But for a lot of us, this is unfortunately something that we've grown up with all of our lives. So again, it just kind of fueled me more than, deterred me from continuing to grow as a creative. Arts and music has always been a lot of the foundation for change and a lot of the foundation for growth. I mean, even in slavery times, the way that they got through a lot of things was singing songs. The way that they passed on, information was singing songs, even going all the way back to African tribes and Indian tribes. And, like they sung songs and they passed down things. That's how they told their stories and passed down their lineage. And, the same way that we use music, today is how it's always been used. And it's always been super powerful. So, I don't think that anything has changed. I think that now with the advent of social media, the internet, even television, we have to understand the power that we have. A lot of artists, until a lot of these situations, especially the younger kids, didn't understand the power that they had in speaking, the power that they had in, saying that they're not, gonna sit by and let stuff like this continue to happen. They're going to try to lend their voice to some change. They're super powerful. I mean, artists have always been doing this and always have been a huge part of the revolution, a huge part of the movement, going all the way back to Gil Scott-Heron and, Curtis Mayfield. And, a lot of these artists were talking about social change and social injustice, even James Brown, like going back, talking about these things. And in a way, it fueled the movement. It gave us a rallying cry in a way. And that's the power that art and music have. I mean, from, again, clothing to hairstyles, all of that stuff, that's art. All of that is art. And all of that was represented, is represented in the movement. And it'll continue to be, I think, until the days are done.